Your last fight.
Yeah, last fight, yeah.
You still talk with so much love and honor for this sport that I take my hat off to you on so many levels, because you had the biggest fight. A bit like Michael Watson, really. The biggest fight, his biggest fight was after boxing.
And John, if I'm honest with you, I mean, that fight there, it does make me feel emotional, even now, just sitting there. I mean, it's 9 years on now, even just talking about it, because I trained so hard for it. I knew it was going to be a tough fight, but I knew I had everything was there to win it. But for whatever reason, I went out, I never lost a round up until I won round 1 to 5. I went out for the 6th round, I threw a jab, dropped my right hand, he come over with the left hook, bang, took me out. I woke up 3.5 weeks later in a coma, and so it was game over.
See?
Yes, people, live and direct, the third team on the Final Round podcast. Yeah. I'm here, myself, the Dark Gladiator, Donovan Smiley. We've got John Keenan, Isham Brown Sugar, Neville Brown, the Craftsman, and also we're going to talk to us now is Jonjo. What's your real name, Jonjo?
Too Fast Finnegan.
Why is it Too Fast Finnegan?
Nicknames.
These hands are just too fast.
Yes, John.
The Sugar Ray.
Yeah. So, Jonjo, how did you start boxing? When did you start boxing and why did you start boxing? Tell the crowd.
Started
tell the
boxing
people.
about what? I was about 9 years old, because my dad was a boxer, so I just emulated him really. That was a heavyweight, yeah.
Was it heavyweight? Was it professional, amateur?
Amateur he was. He could have turned, but he was decent. But he got into business, so he let it go.
Oh right. So how far did he get in the amateurs?
I think he had something like 27 fights. He only lost 1 or 2.
Right.
See, I remember that, John.
Yeah.
John Finnegan was a rough house.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was no boxing, no nonsense.
Straight there.
3 minutes, 9 minutes of pure action,
Pure
crowd
violence.
pleaser,
Boom.
pure violence.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the word.
Wow.
So John, you've to come in. You were the sweetness of the family. You were the boxer. You were the
I was a boxer.
You were the hit hurt merchant.
Jonjo, I've seen a picture of you out there. This is your amateur gym. I've seen a picture out there with you like little pretty boy. You're a fancy boxer.
Still a pretty boy now. What you
You should have done modelling, mate.
What style of boxing was you in? Well, like, I was flamboyant boxer?
Tall, rangy, slick sort of boxer.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. You know, I'm blowing my own trumpet, but that's what I was. Yeah, just a slick, technical boxer, really.
Right. So tell me about your career, how you started it, and what you've done.
Started boxing at 9 years old. Like I said, my dad was a boxer, so I mean, it's a funny story actually, because Dad had his trophies on the top shelf. I used to nick one every now and again, take it to school and tell the kids I was a boxer at 4 or 5 years old. And it weren't until one day that the teacher come in and said to him, "Has Jonjo started boxing?" To him, and she says, "No, he likes it." He said, "I've always been bringing it trophies." He said he had his first fight last night. Well, I think what happened was I took the dad's trophy and told all the kids I'd had a fight, won it by a first round knockout. And that's how that started. Yeah.
And no one started you again at school.
Never ever.
Main man at school, eh?
I was the oldest in school.
You've got to remember that as a youngster, being a boxer was street cred.
It was definitely.
If you were a boxer, you would have done.
Definitely.
That's how you pull the girls back.
Definitely.
But how many people said there was a boxer and there wasn't?
Too many.
Too many.
But you got to remember though, as a youngster, growing up in a small town like Burton, we were there. It was a quiet town.
Yeah.
You know, we saw the cities and we went there and it was unknown territory to us. So we got called country bunking. So we had nothing. So boxing in a small town, there was not a lot going on. I mean, to me, it was judo, athletics, and boxing. So boxing took mine. So I know John Finnegan, the guys were there, and the rough asses. They were before my time, I think. But I remember you coming through, and I thought, okay, this young. And I remember going to his house after I won the British title. John Finnegan would sponsor me and look after me. So when I went to the house, they had this massive house. I'd never seen a house with a snooker table in there. That's what I'm talking about. So they had a snooker table and we were playing snooker. And I remember, I've still got the photo. You still got the photo? Your mum contacted me on Facebook and said, we still got the picture of you with the belt. With young Jonjo, about 8 years of age.
Wow.
That's some history.
Wow.
Did you start boxing after meeting Nev then?
I started boxing, John. Like I said, my dad had just not long finished, and Nev was down the gym. My first memories of boxing in general, really, is watching my dad training, and at the same time going down the gym and seeing Neville down there, and looking at this lad Neville Brown, thinking, wow, I'm going to be as good as him one day. Watching him sparring, watching him shadowbox, and just sitting on the bench down there, just watching him for hours on end, and just loving it. Yeah.
Fell in love with the game instantly.
Just fell in love with it.
You feel old now, Neville, don't you?
I do. I feel
Neville was my hero for a lot of years. He still is, actually. Yeah, he still is. Yeah, but he was. I used to watch him. I went to watch the boxing AEB finals, and my dad took me down. We watched him box all over the place, and he was pure class. He was.
We
he was.
travel the country. I'm saying we're at 20 fights a season. That's 20 visits. That's me one. So everybody else had fights, and that's what I'm saying. The meat of the game was. I think Jonjo, you must have had 2 fights or 3 fights in 1 week at times.
Yeah. Sometimes. I mean, I never had as many as Neville. I had 73 amateur fights. Wow. I think I won 52, something like that.
Record.
Yeah, so it weren't too bad. Yeah.
Did you win anything in the amateurs?
I won the Midland AB title. I won the schoolboys. I won the NABCs. Got to finals of junior ABs, and so I did all right, really.
Yeah.
Too bad, yeah.
The boys clubs, national
Won the boys
final.
clubs. Yeah.
Yes.
Was it easy decision for you to go from amateur to pro? Was it easy transition? How did it come about?
It come about, John. I was boxing in the ABs. I won the Midland final. I got through to the quarters. And I boxed a lad called Matora Abdul Salam. His name was, a Nigerian kid. He just won the gold in the Commonwealth Games. He come over and he's boxing out of St Pancras Cronk in London. Yeah. And luckily for me, I drew him in the quarters, and I lost on points to him on the computer, and I did lose the fight. And I sort of knew I'd lost the fight. And I give it a good go. And after that, he went and he knocked everyone out up to me. I took him, but I lost him on points. Then he stopped everyone after me as well. Then when he won the Four Nations well after that. So then my dad said to me, he said, "You've got 2 trophies now, Jonjo. You need to make a few quid and stop collecting plastic trophies." So I thought about it, and I thought. And I was in love with amateur boxing. It was my dream to win an ABA title and whatever else I could do. So I thought about it, and it kept on. And then I seen Errol Johnson at a show, and he said, "John, have you thought about turning pro?" And my dad was with me. He says, "Yeah, Errol, he wants to turn pro. Yeah, it's about time to make some money and that and the other now." So I said, "Yeah, I've thought about it." I said, "Well, I'll think about this. Give me a ring, so come over to the gym and do some sparring." So I went over to Errol's gym and sparred Roddy Duran, and I called Stuart Elwell, and I called Mark Lloyd. And I moved around them, and I did all right, and I jumped on it. And I liked the vibe in the gym, and Errol, I liked Errol and Dave Bradley at the time. So he offered me a deal, and I just turned over and signed up with him.
How old was he when you turned over?
23 I was, John.
23,
yeah.
What was it like when you first turned pro? Were you like weary of it? What to do and stuff?
It's a funny one.
And transitioning from the amateur side.
Funny one, D, because I walk in the gym and on the way to the gym, going up the motorway, I feel like I was going to a fight. I get butterflies
in that.
Yeah, a bit nervous and walk in the gym and then see the lads, and obviously I didn't really know all that. So I walk in sort of like, look at the lads, say hello, and someone want to speak to you, someone don't, and you're thinking,
Rocky 3.
Rocky 3.
See, we get a wrong deal there. We get told we're roughhouses, but we're the loveliest guys you ever meet. But we know how to back it up. It's just, you see the eyes, and it's just an intensity that the eye of the tiger is the best way to explain it. But we're all frightened, all wanting to be the best. We're all competing with one another to be the next best fighter from wherever.
Even when you're sparring, I know when you go in the gym and you spar, like a newcomer comes, you want to show him this is my house, so you give him the eye to intimidate him. So if he come and try to spar you, you know you've beaten him in a certain way with mind games. That's what it is, isn't it?
My first ever proper spar is a little story for you. My first ever proper spar was with a lad called Stuart Elwell. He was a good pro student, was he? What he won?
Good fighter.
Yeah, good fighter.
He was an amateur as well.
He was good amateur, wasn't he? Yeah, he did, didn't he? He was good for and
Wednesbury.
My first from Wednesbury. My first proper spar was with him. I jumped to the ring and everyone's eyes on me. Oh, who's this new kid? Sort of. Everyone's watching fight. Everyone's watching me like, but weighing me up, see if I was going to be any good this end of the. And I sparred Stuart, and he got in with me, and I didn't rush him and tried to just to give it him. But when he come out, I was counting. I was catching. He was southpaw as well, and he hit me with a straight four, like bottom on the nose. And I thought, I think I'll have a bit more of that. So I stood there in the centre ring. We just had a shootout, and Errol says, "Whoa, come here, lads, come here. what's up with you two? Don't you like each other or something? I said, well, no, I don't know him. He's all right, yeah.
You're just showing that you got someone to throw,
and
man.
then Elwell's gone, no, if he wants to go, but we'll go. And I thought, all right, so he goes, off you go, lads, take your time, sparring. So we went back out for it again for the next round. And he's clunked with the right hand. I thought, okay.
Right, let's have it.
So I whacked him again.
There we go again.
And he says, "Oi, get out now, both of you." So he kicks us both out. Yeah.
But to be honest, Jonjo, that's a good coach.
Yeah.
Because the amount of times some of our spars are work harder than fights.
Yeah. Some coaches leave you. Some coaches leave you, and I want to see that.
Yeah.
That's true.
It depends where they've been coached, doesn't it?
Exactly.
What they've been through.
What you start to see, there's a tendency, and this isn't a knock at anybody, but sometimes people who haven't fought at a level, because I always believe sparring is to sharpen the tools.
Yeah.
And the only difference in my sparring is that when I land a punch on you, I back off.
Yeah.
If it's a stiff jab, I back off.
I'm there to
Because and it gives them, it's an unknown language to fighters. I catch you with a shot, I see you back off. And if I land a good shot, I back off, and we then either touch gloves and move forward, back into the spar again. The difference in a fight
You don't do
is
that.
that when I land that shot,
Going forward.
man, I'm coming after you.
Yeah.
That's the only difference, but it shouldn't be I'm going to cause injury to my sparring partners and my people, unless I'm paying my sparring partner for this.
That's the mentality. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Even when I used to box, train in Manchester, the mentality was hard spar. They're going to come in for you. You know what I mean? You got to look after yourself. You don't look after yourself, you have a bad day, it's your problem. You know what I mean? And you feel really bad and you go home. You know what I mean?
Well, you do, because like you say, sometimes we said to each other earlier on when we had to fight friends. I had to fight a guy called Andy Smith as an amateur. And I grew up watching him. And I remember I never used to get close to people that was at my weight class. When I go to the championships. I don't know how you felt, Jonjo, but I'd never get close to him. If I knew he was at my weight class, I kind of I'd wave and thumbs up. But Andy Smith he started off as a flyweight. Southpaw won all the schoolboy championships. When I was in these championships, my first schoolboy championships, my coach Mickey would say, "Watch this lad here, he's top dollar." So I watched him Southpaw and I thought, wow, he was the Sugar Ray of the day. Skills, boxing movement, Southpaw. And I remember I got befriended him and we started hanging together. We go to fight. Next thing, I didn't see him for a year. I looked at him again, and he was a light middleweight, a welterweight. I was like, "Hey Andy, don't go up to light middleweight." And he goes, "Nev, my dream has always been to be the middleweight champion of the world." And a year later, my mum was in the corner with me.
You have to break your dream.
It was horrible, and I think I've retired him.
Wow.
And he loved boxing to the max. And I remember the first round coming out, sticking and moving, and just like a spar. And the referee went, "Come on, boys, step it up." I went back to my corner and Pete goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, it was a hard thing to deal with. And next time I had to go out and stop him. And it was really brilliant. A true warrior. He said, "Nev, I know I should be in the ring with you. It was my dream, and now I realize I can't. I'm not good enough." And he promised he wished me all the best. But it was such a hard win. But I think all fighters have to experience this.
Struggle taking the privilege of it. You know, you felt wrong with it. You know.
Just going back to the sparring thing again now. I remember, Neville will remember this. I remember there's a lad in our arm a lad called Declan English, very talented lad, very powerful, lad called Bang.
Declan English.
Me and Declan was like, we're literally best friends. Couldn't separate us at school. We was shadow boxing, we was talking boxing. All we ever did downtown, we walk around on Saturday, go to McDonald's, talk about boxing. The Saturday, we've really been to McDonald's like that, but you know, we were. And then we started, when we had to spar down the gym, it was like, jumped in, and because we were such good friends, one of the other one, and then I just sparked World War III off. So we had some flipping, we had some right wars in this ring here, what we're sitting in now.
But I remember that because at our gym, what used to happen was everybody's training, but when the sparring came along, everybody knew. Everybody was like, going, "Is Isham going to spar Smithy? Is Smithy going to spar?" And we all knew what Smithy was like. Everybody is going to take heads.
And stop and watch.
So everybody's doing, we couldn't stop because the coaches were watching. Everybody's all around the ring doing sit-ups. All watching this fight.
And because me and Declan was the same age at the time, but from schoolboys to up to seniors really, the lads see Declan get in there and they think, "Oh, he's Declan's squad." Then see me get in there, and because he was decent and I was decent, and Declan was a puncher and I was a boxer, they'd be like, "Oh, watch this one." And we had a crowd that gather around the ring, and that made it even worse.
Yeah.
So it whacked me with a big left hook, and I think, right, I'm whacking with the right hand, and the next thing,
but as you say that, it throws memories.
Yeah.
You know, you see Mayweather and they do this slugfest.
Do the same thing.
We was, I didn't realize they were just copying off us on YouTube. So we'd be doing the sit-ups and working because our coach would go, "What you doing?" We'd be skipping, or we'd be doing sit-ups or shadowboxing.
But watching,
facing
that way.
We'll talk about after. I remember I was talking to a guy called Malcolm Worrell, and he said, "When you and Ron Wilson, me and Ron Wilson would spy, goes, the whole gym would just stop."
Yeah.
And all come to the ring, and at some point they stopped training. They were just watching the sparring and said, "You guys were trying to kill each other." And we were like, "We don't remember it that way. You know, we don't remember. We remember just being sparring and landing shots, but not trying to take each other out." But the crowd was like,
in the ring, when you're throwing shots, when you're sparring, you know you're not throwing the shots to kill the person. But from on the outside, it sounds the power and the sharpness,
the unconditioned,
the gloves,
and
everything
this is
hitting
the
against
point.
the skin.
That's right, Don. The unconditioned athlete that doesn't know boxing thinks we're having wars.
A war, you're not having a war.
But we're not battering each other. Because did you not spar with Lee as well?
Yeah, Lee Parker,
Because we had a little battle of little lightweights at the time. And it was beautiful to watch because the standard of boxing back in the day when I was training, you go to the NABCs or the Midlands finals, you've seen the worthy of being at the Olympics. They were so evenly matched. There was no mismatches, or very rarely. Whereas I see mismatches galore nowadays. But then you've seen a whole 12-man team from Midlands taking on Wales or taking on London. And you see these amazing bouts. But the standard was such a level. It wasn't. Fitness is important. Boxing skills are what take you the whole way.
Pays bills.
But I think back then, I think good creates good, and I think we all learned on each other. We all shone it, and we all tried to be as good as each other. And back then, there was 4 or 5 lads around my age and my weight, sort of thing. There was me, Declan Lee Parker, Dwayne Parker, a lad called Brendan Grimes, and a few more. And we always just spar each other, and we were going to run together, knowing exactly when we got back, what we were going to spar. We get back in, put our bags up, put our stuff back up, and you say, right, Jonjo, come shield in, such come shield in, and that's when we knew then it was time to go to war. But I think I actually used to prefer boxing then days rather than sparring because it weren't as awkward beating a lad and beating a lad up that you didn't know than a lad that you did know. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Because you got your own fellow boys watching, and we'd all be like, "What a left hook! You said left hook, run landed on that dude." And you're like,
It was even worse now when you go downtown on Saturday, you meet him downtown to walk around town with him when he's back in school days, and you meet him, he's put with a big black eye, and he's like, "Oh sorry about last night." You know what I mean? I know, they were good days. They were really good days.
It was growing. We needed that. I said Brendan was like this. We needed that father figure because we weren't bad kids. But we didn't nurturing. We had nowhere to go. We needed that nurturing. And what we didn't realize, what I think's missing today in the gyms, if we boxed as amateurs and let's say 10 of us went to an event in the minivan and 3 of us are definitely on, 5 spares, and then some of the guys coming just to be around to just keep us company or whatever. And then we'd get there. And then when we came back, I lost my fight. Jonjo won his fight. Somebody, Don, won, but we know he lost the fight. And we all kind of were bouncing off each other.
You're still supporting each other.
Supporting. And so I'm excited that I've won or lost, And you have to then learn how to talk to your friend, the guy you've grown up in the streets with and on the gyms with, and he's lost. So you're kind of holding back on your brilliance, experience. But it was such great mentoring with one another. And then the coach had so much to deal with. Okay, you lost that one because the last round you were blowing. Fitness. Jonjo, perfect. Nev, you wasn't working hard enough in the first 2 rounds. What's going on? And then we had plans to get on with, and then everybody saw that, and they'd enhance my fitness. Learn off each other. That's what's missing today, I feel.
And it's like making a family there. You inventing a family. So you got to train as a father, and your boxers, fellow boxers, your brothers, you know what I mean? And you got the women, girls, brothers and sisters. So you're making a relationship. So when you finish boxing, and you go out, now we're meeting each other now, like a family, like a tight.
Society could learn a lot. I've always said society could learn a lot from a boxing gym.
You're definitely, 100%. Man.
So tight. Like even when you go in gyms, There's black, white, Muslim, Hindu. There's any
We
of
don't
that
look at
matter
no
in a
colour, no
machine.
race. We just
Exactly.
look at whatever.
No race,
Nothing.
But I tell you what I do love, girls, I'm so glad you came into the boxing world.
Amen.
Because you've gone out, I don't know about you guys, but when we were young, men, you're nasty.
Yeah.
They don't change their clothes. They were stanking. They were wearing the same sweat clothes they wore last week. And when the girls came into the gym,
You start showering.
they brought a freshness literally to the gym. I remember sparring with some of the young girls when they first came, just bringing them on, and they'd throw a left hook at you, and you smell that aroma of perfume. It was the most beautiful smell you ever had. Then you got hit with the left hook. But it was good. So, girls, I'm so glad you came into the boxing world.
Guys improving now.
We're
Smelling better,
improving
aren't they?
the hygiene,
Cocoa butter.
cocoa butters
Cocoa
up.
I tell you, some of them can fight.
Yeah, they can, man.
I'm gonna put something to you. I think it's gonna make you laugh. I know we got testosterone guys. We're the strong dudes. But I think the girls are developed fighting better than guys.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Because their body is designed. Why do we have fats? To protect the organs, protect us from blows. So girls, realistically, you could say, are more designed to box, to fight, more than men.
They can take more pain and more.
So be it. So I'm hearing.
Threshold stronger than ours. They have. They've got the babies.
A
They can have
baby
kids.
thing, yeah.
Hey, come on, if a man had a kid, come on, we'd die.
Yeah.
We'd die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but they did say some women get really upset about that story, and they say, "Yeah, you push out a melon." Say no more. Say no more.
Let's leave that on there, Nev.
No, sir.
No, it's going back on that Sunday. I think that I've trained a good few girls now, and I train lads, and I'm training some good lads and good girls. But I think that the girls listen and they take it in better than lads.
Well
And
done.
I understand that is what it is.
Women
I
do. Women listen
Yeah, I
more.
mean,
But do you
So
think
funny you should say that.
do.
As an online coach,
Yeah.
I don't take men on anymore.
No.
Women just-
No.
Online,
The more
all my online
dedicated,
business is just
more
women.
dedicated women than men.
I had a girl and a lad on the same show one day, and I told the lad what I can't do, and he totally did the opposite. He didn't listen to me. I told the girl what to do. She went, I did exactly what I did, and she won the fight. He lost the fight, she won the fight.
Yeah.
So it's, that's how it goes, isn't it?
you're
Yeah.
the more dedicated.
Yeah. But it's going back to what we was on about through learning morals and manners and everything through boxing. Although I was brought up by a very good mother and father, I was. With a few, I mean, I weren't the best kid. I was a bit of a naughty kid, as we probably all was to a degree. But I think the boxing club, the boxing family, as I call it, as a kid, literally, I learned more morals and manners and respect for people down there than
But
You
that's
respect
right.
more. Yeah.
When you think about that, let's think of that. Our challenge was, and again, I say this in a way. Remember the arcade, Fantasia? Remember Fantasia?
Yeah.
The Pac-Man, when the games came out? We couldn't afford it, right? But we used to do what they're doing today.
Yeah.
So when I go to my son in his bedroom and he's watching some guy play a game, have you seen that, what they do?
Yeah, online.
They watch
play the-
online somebody playing the game. I goes, why are you sitting there watching somebody play the game and make a story? And he goes, oh, it's cool. And I'm like, wouldn't you rather do... Now go back to when we were kids, Jonjo. Don. I would go to the Fantasia, the amusement arcade. I couldn't afford to
watch
play the
someone
game.
playing it.
So I'd go and watch someone playing.
I did that as well, yeah.
We all did it. So
You got kids.
so as things really changed, we were doing it. But the difference was we had to go out in the cold weather, come rain, sleet or snow, and freeze ourselves and
They
sit
do it at home
there.
now.
they're clever.
Do it in the bedroom. That is just a minor thing, but it's major.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Major.
Definitely.
Technology, innit?
It
Life
is
changing,
technology.
life changing.
Yeah.
Can we control technology because it's taking over?
I don't know what it's going to be in another 20 years. If you think about, people always ask me, and I know that you two will get it as former champions, like, have you got any video footage? Everyone now don't ask photographs. They ask for selfies, right? So everyone can go in a stadium with a camera now and just record whatever they record. If you want archive footage of your fights, you've got to write to Frank Warren or whoever to get it. And he's too busy with fighters, right? Where are we going to be in another 20 years? It's crazy. People now just walk. One thing I don't like, I am not a massive police lover, but I on this side, I'm sick and tired of people going up to the police and just recording them for the sake of recording them. And saying to them, like, I don't have to do it because this is a public street. Listen, if I came and recorded you while you were stacking shelves in the co-op, you won't like it. Let them do their job.
But it's like, to me, like you're saying, we need policing.
Yes, we do.
There's no way I want to live in a world where there's
Anarchy.
no police. It'd be anarchy.
We all need them at some stage, don't we?
Yeah,
But they all need to know their place, and we all need to know our place and know what we're doing and what we need to giving more. I think we need to be giving more in this world. I see a lot of taking, grabbing attention, and the worst one, not earning. Not earning that ability to have that name, that following. That's what I'm worried about.
It's crazy where the world's going. Who knows where we're going? Who would have thought that we were all in lockdown for 2 years?
I know.
Still going fast, though, isn't it?
Can I say something? You think this lockdown's done as well? Because it's brought us a bit more closer.
I would say for me, the best thing that happened to me was lockdown. The only bad thing was financially, it's hurt me. But the opportunities it's opened, doing the podcast, moving my business online, some of the connections, some of the people that have come into my life, it's definitely give the world a time out. The money that I was earning was a ridiculous amount of money before COVID, but I was working 18 hours a day. And some of the things that I'm doing now I would have wished to do, but I wouldn't have had the time. So the time outs made me think, now I'm going to
give time to reflect.
And I'm going to.
But you know what I think is, when I look at things negatives and turn it into a positive if possible, right? In the best way I can. And I would say, if something's come from this for people, for personal people, is it's made you realize you really are on your own. You've always been on your own. And I think a lot of people don't see that. We look outside of our visual at other people, and I wish I had what he had. I wish they look really happy in that relationship over there. Stop.
Go out and find it yourself.
It's in us. We all have this ability, so it makes us now think about self. So when I had this 18-month off, I've lost my father. I've lost so many friends, family members. But in some ways, I needed this time. Because sometimes I need to go over what's going on, to absorb what's happened, to see where I'm going in life. And the boxing, it made me realize, I feel like I'm back in a boxing fight.
Right.
Because if I can keep myself busy, if I can keep myself active training-wise, that's the fight. Keeping my momentum up. And I think this has allowed me. So the pullback has just made me think, I'm back in a fight zone again. Does that make sense to you
100%. Like, sometimes I think we can get comfortable and complacent, and we're just going through the motions. But sometimes success is really only comes out of being uncomfortable, getting comfortable, being uncomfortable. When we get comfortable, opportunities don't present themselves, because if you can imagine, everyone's trying to be somebody and you're just comfortable. So they're going to be the someone that you're not, because you're comfortable. So if you want to be someone, you have to be in a position to be uncomfortable. And that's what fighting is, the anxiety, the pressure, the build-up. That's all more stressful than the fight.
It is.
Yes. And I think you hit the money on the head there.
Definitely.
Jonjo, what was, when you put it all together, the stress, the runs, the sparring, the nosebleeds, the hit, the dieting, the discipline, what was the best fight or the pinnacle fight for you? When did it all come together and that was my favorite or best fight or most enjoyable time?
For me, isn't a specific fight.
A particular fight might have been the best.
I think for me, I think although I boxed for a few titles in the end, I think for me, the best fight I ever had, it wasn't a title fight. It was when I boxed a lad called Elvis Doob in Birmingham. And Elvis was banging. Neville knows Elvis quite well. He's trained him and done bits probs with him. And Neville can punch. And I was winning the fight up until I went out for the 6th round, and he threw a right hand over the top, bang, and hit me on the button. And I found myself flat on my back. I got up, I made the count, and then the referee told us to box on. He steamed into me and stopped me. And I was absolutely gutted because I was like 5 rounds up as well. I was winning the fight easily as well.
How did you feel when you got knocked down? Tell the crowd.
It was the first time that I'd ever been dropped in my life, amateur or pro. So
how did you feel? What the feeling like?
I sort of sat there and I thought, hey, what went off? I must have fell over. I stood up.
The
referee started counting. I put my hands up. No. He said, box on. He steamed into me and he threw a barrage of, 15, 20 shots and he dropped me again, and the referee stopped me. And I was gutted. I went down to the corner. I said to my trainer, Errol Johnson, I said, "Oh, you've got to get in that fight again." Literally next, he said, "I said, because I won't get over that. I can't live it down because I know I was winning the fight. And now I know I can beat him."
Yeah.
So he looked at me like there's something wrong with me. He said, "John, just got to stop. Go home now and have a rest, and we'll speak tomorrow." So I rang him back the same match in the morning. I said, Errol, try and get my fight. So a week later, I was at work and I got a call. And it was Errol. I said, Errol, are you all right? He said, yes. And he said, I've got you that fight again next week. I said, which one? He said, so I got back in the gym and I was still fit anyway. And I went back in the same venue, carbon copy of the first fight.
Yeah.
This time I went up and I did exactly the same what I did before, but kept my hands up, moving in that range, but with my hands up with a tight defence, and I beat him on points, and I didn't lose a round. I think for me, I think the revenge and
Bittersweet.
the satisfaction, bittersweet. The satisfaction of actually going back and winning that fight again.
Yeah.
For me,
Demons,
it felt
get rid of
good.
the demons
Felt
as well.
good, yeah.
But Jonjo, you just hit the nail on the button again for reality of life.
Yeah.
Right.
Something was taken away from you.
Yeah.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
wanted.
Yeah, I wanted it back
And
then.
you had, and you now had a new motivation to go to the next level. I want to go there again. That is what boxing brings. And people who never boxed before will never understand.
Never
this.
understand that. No.
This ability, your pride was hurt.
Yeah.
Your ego was damaged.
Yeah.
And yet, we know the guy you box.
Yeah.
Elvis dude
Yeah,
is a machine.
He's
I
a
mean,
machine,
he's just had his 100th
fights.
fight.
Yeah.
And he looks like
Yeah.
our gloves never touched his
I know.
face.
Yeah,
He is the beautifulest man you'll
He is
ever
a
see.
lovely fella.
I'd have to
Really
see a
nice man.
picture.
As a person himself, he's just lovable.
Yeah.
Lose or win, shake your hand, give you a hug, move out.
It sounds like I've me too. I've me too.
Yeah, I boxed as well.
Yeah,
brothers.
Jonjo. Jonjo. All right, you were fighting, yeah?
Yeah,
You know, when you came back to the second fight,
Yeah.
your mindset.
Yeah.
Let us know, what was your mindset? What were you
Do you know
thinking? All right, okay, you had butterflies and stuff, yeah?
Well,
but what
do
was
know
you thinking, though?
It was it's a real strange one because I got nervous from my first fight as an amateur to my last fight as a pro, right? But for that rematch there, for whatever reason, I was nervous, but I wasn't. I was
angry.
I was focused.
I wasn't even angry. I was just wanting to get in there, and I had a massive point to prove, not to everyone, but to myself.
Pride.
That I could get in there and avenge a defeat. So
Pride,
and I did. And I think I got more satisfaction from that win there than I did when I won. I won 2 titles in. When I won them 2 titles.
What titles did you win?
I won the British Master in the international.
That was my belt, wasn't it?
That was your belt, yeah.
My belt.
Hey, all I'm saying is he's lucky he went around when I was.
Yeah, you're lucky your son can fight right now, son.
Yeah, go on.
How soon after did you box Elvis? So he stopped you.
Yeah, it stopped me.
How soon was it after?
Not soon
I
enough.
had to.
Well, this is like an example for Anthony Joshua now.
I had to have 28 days out, and I think I boxed him. I think it was 5 weeks after.
Wow.
So I just kept.
That's
Wow.
I wasn't
special, man.
I wasn't in the gym, obviously. Straight. I think I had 3 or 4 days off, and I was straight back in the gym. Sorry. Yeah, and I was straight back in the gym. So then I just literally top my fitness, stayed sharp. Look, when I was in the mirror, shadow box, kept looking where my hands were. Make sure I could feel my elbows tucked in, and got back in there.
Good. Well done.
That's a massive achievement. Let me tell you something. In my career, and I know Neville's, Donovan's, John's, we know people that get stopped or knocked out, they are never the same again.
Never.
Then how many fighters have come back from adversity?
Myself.
Very few. You did it as well, Donovan. Neville Brown did it.
And I came back.
Not many do it. It's a very small percentage, Neville.
Yes, I agree.
You've done it yourself. You've done it yourself.
Yeah.
I think that brings you closer to the man or woman that you are.
Yeah.
You've got no one to hide behind. Most fighters won't admit they were beat. There was a reason. Something was wrong.
Pride.
I injured my leg. I couldn't see.
Yeah.
Excuses.
Just be real.
Back it
Just
up.
be real.
Excuses. But here's something that's going to take this conversation a little more deeper. Your last fight.
Yeah, last fight, Nev. Yeah.
You still talk with so much love and honor for this sport that I take my hat off to you on so many levels because you had the biggest fight. A bit like Michael Watson, really. The biggest fight, his biggest fight was after boxing.
And John, if I'm honest with you, I mean, that fight there, it does make me feel emotional, even now, just sitting there. I mean, it's 9 years on now, even just talking about it, because I trained so hard for it. I knew it was going to be a tough fight, but I knew I had everything was there to win it. But for whatever reason, I went out, I never lost a round up until I won round 1 to 5. I went out for the 6th round, I threw a jab, dropped my right hand, he come over the left hook, bang, took me out. I woke up 3.5 weeks later in a coma, and so it was game over.
See, I got to say something, and I don't know if you remember the discussion. Do you remember the discussion we had before the fight?
I can't remember an awful lot for it. Now, to be honest with you.
When Jonjo was fighting, because I was training Jonjo at one point, and his dad said to me, he's never boxed so well. Because we boxed him on his ability, not the crowd, not the opponent. We boxed on Jonjo. And used his reach, used his height. Amazing. On the night that Jonjo boxed, I kicked myself. I don't know if I could have done anything. We spoke 5 minutes before you boxed, Jonjo. And you told me how hard to make weight. How you not drank for so many weeks. How you were training. How you was dehydrated. And you didn't look at, there was no six-pack there. And I knew you were overtrained. And I knew I couldn't say or do anything at that point. And when I saw what happened in the result of the fight, I kicked myself. It's one of the reasons why I never took the license up to box, because I didn't know if I could handle what I witnessed with Jonjo. Because watching you as the 8-year-old, giving you my belt, and the love that you had. I mean, some people love boxing more. Some people just do it because it's a job. And Jonjo just loved it. You could see that. Lose or win, he was deeply upset. And then to that fight, to end that way, to be in the ring with a guy that I thought, to be honest,
he wasn't nothing special.
It wasn't. I wouldn't say that. It was the because anybody gets in the ring, you don't want to get in the ring with somebody who's not good.
No.
What's the point in that?
Respect anybody.
So you respect anyone gets in the ring with you. But I thought at that time, and I see it a lot today, there was a lot of rare going on with the public. There was ins and outs. You were saying stuff to him on Facebook. He was saying stuff to you on Facebook. And to me, it got clearly out of hand.
It got messy, it did.
And then you guys boxed, and I thought, could I have pulled you out of that fight? At that later noticed.
The issue with me, Nev, the issue with me is I've always been very stubborn. And even if I knew deep down in my heart that I shouldn't have been in the ring that night, I'm not saying that's how it was, because it wasn't, but for me to someone to pull me out the fight, to pull out the fight, you'd have to flipping shoot me dead, because I'm too proud.
Stubborn.
Too proud. Too stubborn.
Right, okay.
There was no way, one thing, there was no way he was going to pull out that fight. There was no way you would have pulled yourself out of that fight, him or him.
Right, so this is my point. When I look at boxing today, the fighters need protecting.
Definitely.
They need protecting. They need to. I didn't know about the European Championship that there's no standing counts in there.
No.
I didn't know that, and I should be European champion. Whatever, done and dusted. How much stuff do we not know? When we finish boxing, how much stuff we don't know?
We know more now. We're more educated.
We are.
We've
experienced that.
We're not fighting.
Pardon?
We're not fighting.
But we're experienced now. Could have been there now.
But actually,
that's what I'm saying.
But when you're fighting, it's different.
But actually, as you just said there, you said we're not fighting. And I'm in the biggest fight of my life. Jonjo's finished now. Jonjo is in the biggest fight of his life, because what we took from the sport was robbed from us. The knowledge that we needed to know was robbed from us.
So we learned from that.
So how do we pass this knowledge on to the young fighters coming through today?
Which is important.
Because we don't want to be knocking the young fighters today. And I think the young fighters, just like we, don't like to be told that we're doing something wrong.
Right.
I actually think back now to what I know now, and actually what I know and how I see boxing now. I think that if I seen that 10, 11, 12 years ago, it would have been different again. I'd have been twice as good as I actually was. And I wasn't bad. I wasn't the best. I wasn't bad. But I think I could have been twice as good as I was.
I want to ask you something like that, Jonjo, on similar lines. I'm saying, right, okay, Nev stopped the fight. You listen to Nev, just out of the blue, just stop, listen to the fight, How would you be looking at the boxing? How would you be liking the boxing now? What would you say to yourself, what Nev's done for you? How would you feel now? Now you could be boxing. You could carry on a bit longer.
Still box.
If you stopped it.
I suppose it's one of them, whereas I wouldn't have known whether I would have or not. I probably wouldn't have appreciated what that Nev would have pulled me out the fight. But in the long run, I would never held it against, because I really admire his knowledge.
But would you been happy if he pulled you out? Would you been happy? I know you won't be happy, but now you'll sit back, get home, and think, you know what? I was dehydrated. I'm happy he pulled me out. So how would you feel?
He's seen. I'd be thankful to him. Of course. Of course.
But this is the uneducated being educated.
Yeah.
Because it's after the drama.
Yeah.
So I said this to people. A lot of my fights, if the power above, the God above had said to me
Come
the
out.
night before my fight, had sat down and the God or whoever had said to me, hi Neville, I'm the Almighty, I'm the power one. I can make this moment, this fight go away.
Yeah.
How does that feel? I would have said
Yes.
on a good 50% of my fights, God, yes, sir.
You would.
Because I was so scared, because I feel I've got to fight because I've got to fight for
Pride.
my pride. I've got to fight for my coach. And they work on that. You can't pull out this
Can't
fight.
pull that fight. That's
And we're
what
saying it
boxing's all
now.
about.
But
When you're doing boxing, you don't realize there's a life after it,
Yeah.
because it takes so much commitment and so much from you that it takes that level. Like even other sports or anything you do in life, there's nothing quite like the fight game, the commitment that it takes, and the people that are managers or promoters and maybe being involved, they seem to know a little bit more of what life's like after than we do, but they're gonna make sure they get paid.
But is that not the magic word? Fight. Fight means what? Fight or flight, out of control. So all the time I was training,
Yeah.
and I thought I was in control, I was never in control. Because I was fighting for what? Money, to pay the bills, pride, and to do the same with the man in the other corner. And he's got the same fights coming on. So how do we make this game safer? Because today's fighters, the money they're making today,
It's better now.
they don't need to fight again. But you look back at yesteryear, I look at the Muhammad Ali's and the Larry Holmes and Ken Nortons. These guys were damaged, but they're not doing anything more different than what we have done and experienced. And Jonjo has gone through a trauma, but he still fights today. And I still fight today. And any fighter today, I look at someone, I have to question myself, have I been damaged? Because we're in a sport where it's the damage.
There's levels
I
to
think,
how
I
much
think some of
damage.
us have been damaged. Not if some of us not been damaged physically, it's mentally. But it's still, even though we're talking about this boxing right now, we are getting hurt right now. We're thinking about our career, thinking that happened to me.
So what I can say, boys, I need to put a full stop on that, because we're mid-flow and there's more answers to put there.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it.
There's more questions than answers.
There's more
And
questions.
we got to find the answer. Tune in next time to find out the real story.
Yes.
What you say, Dan?
Yeah, man, defo.
We can talk anytime on this.
Yeah,
Jonjo,
Respect, Jonjo.
thanks for coming on.
Nice one.
Yes, Neville.
Thank you.
Tune in.
Who's closing it? You close it.
I
Close.
want to close it, but I don't want to.
You opened it.
Oh, you opened it. You close it, Sam.
Yeah, so this
No,
is...
never
No,
close
no.
Neville,
Neville, close it.
close
first.
this up, man.
Close it up.
13 on the final round.
13th final round podcast.
13th and the final round. The fight continues. Be in tune. Part 2.
We'll see you next week, and you never know who will be on. You
Just
never know
tune
who will
in,
be on.
just tune in.
Tune in.
Enjoy.
Tune in.
Press your like buttons as well.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
You know?
Peace.
Peace. Subscribe.
It's all love.
Yeah.
Darling, you're supposed to press the button.
No, subscribe.
Press the button.
Press the like button, man.
No, you're supposed to press the music button to close it.
Like button.
Oh, you have to edit that in, John. You have to
Shall we
edit
clap?
We're learning. We're learning. We're
So I'll let it in.
baby
Ready
steps.
to anyway.
All right, go press the button
Press the
now.
button, press the
Go
button.
Right. You ready?
All right. Okay. Do you want to both do it again? Yeah.
We out, people. We out.
Yeah. Press the like button. Remember.
Boom, boom. Don't forget to like, share, save, follow. Let
We're
the
here.
people
We're
know.
here. We're here to stay. We're here
every
to
week.
stay.
We out. Don't forget to like,
Share.
Comment.
And subscribe.
and hit that notification button. We out.
All right.
All right.